Hello, good morning everyone. Myself Om Shankar Yadav, Assistant Professor Agronomy. Subject is rainfed farming, and today's topic is history of rainfed agriculture. The rainfed agriculture is divided in two parts: pre-independent period and after independent period. From the time immemorial, the chief form of agriculture in the dryland tract of India was cultivated of drought-resistant crops was millets for food and fodders. जहाँ ड्राईलैंड एरिया था उस ट्रैक में परंपरागत रूप से यानी मिलेट्स मोस्टली उगाया करते थे फूड और पाउडर के लिए. इट यूज टू बी ए गैम्बल विद रेनफॉल. वो रेनफॉल के साथ में एक गैम्बल था. ड्यूरिंग दी गुड रेनफॉल ईयर दी हार्डशिप ऑफ फार्मर्स सीम टू हैव बीन mitigated as surplus grain and fodder were available, but as water is the most important single factor of crop production, the inadequate and extremely uncertainty of rainfall often cause partial or complete failure of crop, leading to periodic food scarcity and famines. Drought was a frequent phenomenon. These factors made the economic life of the dryland cultivar extremely difficult and insecure. To address these issues, the Government of India appointed the first Famine Commission in 1880. The commission recommended certain of protective irrigation projects in the dryland tracts. The Government of India constituted Royal Commission on Agriculture in 1928. The commission revived the Department of Agriculture of the Government of India and simultaneously founded the Department of Agriculture in all the provinces. The department concentrated more on the best performance crops but neglected millets and other crops of the rainfed areas. A few years of study at Manjori Farm led to the conclusion the problems of cultivation of dryland crops vast in extreme. The dry space extended from 3 to more than 8 weeks during the rainy season. It was thus left that for good crop production, conservation of soil moisture and minimization of surface evapotranspiration. Comparison: the most suitable intervention, soil loss and moisture conservation in the Deccan Plateaus under normal cultivation. Soil slope, low rate of infiltration and high intensity rainfall cause runoff between 12 and 20% with a concentrate upper soil loss of 10 to 14 ton per hectare per year due to erosion. And the recommended practices constitute the following. In rainfed conditions are construction contour bund as the basic and essential treatment, occasional deep plowing of land once in 3 years, and repeated shallow cultivation of soils 4 to 5 inter cultivations to remove weed and conserve moisture during the rainy season, particularly for Rabi season sorghums, and addition of moderate quantity of farmyard manure to maintain the fertility and physical condition of eroded soils. Sowing in wider rows with lower seed rate and adopting mixed cropping, crop rotation whereas possible, following a part of the holding every year. Unfortunately, the returns from the adoption of these technologies resulted in lower yield 40 to 100 kg grains per hectare, probably due to discouragement to the huge inputs and unavailability of proper biological materials. In 1923, establishment Dryland Research Station at Manjori, Pune. 1972, establishment of ICRISAT. And 1985, birth of Central Research Institute for Dryland Agriculture at Hyderabad. A 1917 research center established under Equipedia in 23 locations. In 1986 launching of Navadvipra program by Government of India in 15 states, and thus up to the dependence. The dryland agriculture research The dryland agriculture research and development made no significant progress, and after post-independence, even after independence, the more research in direction of dryland farming conservation in the catchment of rivers valley project was launched in 1962. Was later realized the project focused more on prevention of siltation of reservoirs and controlling flood, and give secondary importance to agronomic aspects. And the green revolution period, keeping in view these contingency problems, the ICR formulated an exhaustive program on dryland agriculture research. Thus the All India Coordinated Research Project for Dryland Agriculture was launched in 1970 with the support from Canadian International Development Agency through an instrument of bilateral collaboration signed between the Government of India and Canada. The Consultative Group on International Agriculture Research had established the International Crop Research Institute for the Semi-Arid Tropics research at Hyderabad in 1972. The Krishi Vigyan Kendra (KVKs) were established in 1974 to demonstrate prevent technologies in farmers' field in the most of the districts. The dryland agriculture research was further strengthened the establishment of the All India Coordinated Research Project on Agrometeorology in 1983 at Hyderabad with 12 operating centers and now 25 centers. The modest beginning of Equipedia result into establishment of a full-fledged research organization, the Central Research Institute for Dryland Agriculture at Hyderabad in 1985. The main purpose of these institutes was to focus on lead research in dryland agriculture, leaving location-specific problems and their solution to Equipedia and Equipama. The present mandate of Equipedia is now to undertake basic and applied research that will contribute to the development of strategies for sustainable farming system in the rainfed areas, to act as a responsibility of information on rainfed agriculture in the country, and to provide leadership and coordinate network research with state agriculture universities for generating location-specific technologies for rainfed areas, to act as center for training in research methodologies in the field basis to management of rainfed farming system, to collaborate with relevant national and international agencies in achieving the above objectives, to provide consultancy in order to reduce the regional imbalance in agriculture. The ICAR set up the National Agriculture Research Project in 1987 to build up infrastructure and to strengthen the zonal research station under state agriculture universities for conducting location-specific research. The impact of accelerated growth rate in agriculture production did not last very long. Almost since the 1990s, there has been stagnation or decline in the productivity and production of many crops in the country. In other words, rainfed agriculture is synonymous to non-irrigated agriculture. It includes rainfed wetlands as well as rainfed dryland. Dryland are therefore part of rainfed lands. And this is the end. Okay.